we've seen over the last 2 weeks in other areas in the region?
Well, I think that this is actually one of the most remarkable stories coming out of Libya during all of this. Because during the last 4 decades, over the past 4 decades, there's been such a high degree of fear and apathy and this overall sense that nothing can be done to change their political situation. And so they've completely disengaged. And then Tunis happened, Tunisia happened, and then Egypt happened, and everything changed. And you talk to them, you talk to people in Libya, and they say that we're not afraid anymore. You know, we see that it can be done, you know, and it's just a matter of time before we do it as well. Of course, there's always fear when you're facing snipers, when you're facing people firing at you. But it's a different kind of fear that has been removed. But more than anything, they speak about determination. They say, you know, we're determined. We're willing to risk our lives for this. We're willing to take one for the team. When we spoke earlier about how the snipers have actually caused people to congregate in Benghazi more into larger crowds. When they fire, when they shoot someone, people don't run away. They go and they get whoever is shot, you know, and they take care of them. And so I think part of it is this new feeling that's, you know, taking over the Arab world that okay, there is a way out of this situation. Another part of it for Libya is now is the thing that everybody knows, is that either way, whatever happens right now, they're going to get massacred. Or if they continue to oppose the regime, they're going to continue to lose lives. If they back down now, they know that the revenge, the retaliation from the Gaddafi regime is going to be unimaginable.
But again, I have to ask them, and you are, I mean, we build you as you know, a Libyan American dissident.
Right.
Our trouble is getting a full picture of the points of view across the country, not just to the Western educated in Libya, not just the ones who did have access to the internet and so forth, but across the spectrum, not just those in the East, who've long been marginalized by those in the West. And that's our trouble.
Well, here's the thing. It's true that people speak about the East being marginalized. That is not to say that the West is, you know, is living in some sort of a paradise. It's pretty awful there too for a lot of people, and even if they don't have the internet, and even if you know, they don't have the same education that people outside of the country have, they see that they don't have the hospitals. They see that they don't have, or the good functional hospitals. They see that they don't have good schools. They see the lack of employment, 30%. They see that the majority of Libyans, despite the figures on the per capita income, which are very misleading, are living on just a few dollars a day. That, you don't need an education, you don't need any internet to see that.
Interestingly though, when Saif Gaddafi talked of the reasons for what we're seeing, in Benghazi he talked about foreign elements, he talked about the internet, he talked about ecstasy and drugs.
Right, he mentioned drugs quite a few times.
Yeah, but with Al-Baida though, another area in the East, that's where he mentioned Islamic separatism and the possibility of people declaring themselves emirs of that area and everything else. Might there be different regional characteristics for what we're seeing right now?
I mean, frankly, I don't know why he picked Al-Baida to make that statement, so I can't really comment on that.
And then you were saying that you were speaking to some of some contacts just a few hours ago who suggested that when we talk of unrest within Tripoli, it's also in the outskirts of Tripoli and rather spread out. Tell us more about that.
So in several towns surrounding Tripoli, you know, 30, 40, 50 minutes away, an hour and a half, there have been protests in recent days that we're getting reports from people in those cities, cities like Gharian, Nalut, Zintan, Misrata, Sabrata, Tarhuna. There are reports of thousands on the streets. There are even reports in some cases of the police joining the protesters. And so there is this squeeze, the sense that people, and Zawiya. Zawiya is a big one because there were reports earlier today that thousands of people, Zawiya is about half an hour from Tripoli, are moving from Zawiya into Tripoli. So people are actually, from certain places, starting to move into the city, starting to converge on Tripoli. These are the reports. I don't know, again, how accurate that they are, but...
Now, do stay with us for more analysis. but we're going to get reaction to what's happening in Benghazi. We spoke earlier to a doctor at a Benghazi Central Hospital. She asked not to be identified.
What is happening in Benghazi has been finally, Gaddafi lost control in Benghazi. We are celebrating here in Benghazi. Everybody's feeling so happy. And yes, we have a lot of casualties, we have a lot of victims, but we're so proud of them. I'm one of them. I'm so proud of them.
You're one of them as well. What happened to you?
Well, we've been trapped I'm a doctor, and we've been trapped in our home like up to now for 3 days with our kids and just supporting our guys and our men just to go and fight. And today, all the people, youth, scouts, doctors, even me, I was in the United States and I just came. I was just trying to begin with the system, and I have volunteers, and we've been in the hospitals, and believe me, it was a disaster in the beginning. All the system was his system, and everything was down when he was down. So there's a lot of brave doctors who get control in the hospitals, taking care of the patients and the victims, and giving support for the whole Libyan families and the whole Libyan people.
As far as you're aware, have the military units in Benghazi now joined the protesters?
Hello?
Hello. Have the military units in Benghazi, we had reports that the military in Benghazi had joined the protesters. Is that something that you are aware of?
Yes, they did, and we received a lot of bodies from them, a lot of victims, a lot of deaths from them. God bless their souls. I mean, they are truly Libyans.
They gave you a number of the victims. Are these military victims, or are they the protesters?
Both. We had both victims from both sides, the ministries and the civilians too.
I'm afraid I wonder if you could bring us up to date, though, then, with the number of casualties, if it's possible to estimate them. And
As I told you before, because we don't have a system right now that taking care that can give you the exact number, but I can give you like something. It's more than 300. It's more definitely than 300 deaths among our people since the beginning of the revolution over here.
And do you have the ability to cope with these casualties? We also heard that many of the wounds were from very heavy weaponry. Can you confirm that? Has there been any explanation from the military?
We never had experience about that before. So I guess most of the doctors just used their guts and did it. You know what I mean? We had no equipment. We had no planning before. Everybody stepped out and just did what he has to do. That's what's going on around here. Every single doctor, even in the hospitals, you can see scout leaders, scout girls. You can see what they call it, the Red Crescent over there. You can see even the casualty of the people coming, bringing supplies, bringing medication, whatever the hospital.